an urgent message from the local district safety office. Please remain calm and listen carefully. Earlier this afternoon, a number of reports came in regarding unusual sounds heard throughout several neighborhoods in the Oakwood area. The sounds were initially dismissed as nothing more than miscommunication, perhaps the wind, a faulty pipe, or an animal. However, as the calls continued, the situation became increasingly difficult to ignore. It began with faint crying, a sound too soft to clearly identify, but distinct enough to catch the attention of several residents. At first, no one thought much of it. Perhaps it was a child, perhaps even an animal in distress. But it didn't stop, and it wasn't coming from anywhere nearby. The deeper it went, the more unnatural the sound became. By 3 p.m., the crying grew louder. The crying seemed to echo from somewhere inside the walls of each house. It was no longer the subtle weeping of a child or the wailing of an animal. It was something else, something wrong. Several residents reported hearing a voice through their baby monitors, their phones, even their radios. It wasn't just a cry. It was a voice, low, distorted, as if trying to speak through the noise of a distant storm. It was pleading. It was begging. But the worst part was no one knew who or what was crying. At 5 p.m., things escalated. A mother in the West End reported hearing the voice of her own daughter, crying in desperation from the other room. She rushed to the door, calling her name, but when she opened it, the room was empty. There was no child. There was no one at all. The crying continued, but it was coming from the room directly behind her now, though no one was there. A neighbor checked, and there was nothing. No one. Just an empty, silent room where her daughter had been moments before. By 7 p.m., the cries had grown frantic. They were no longer pleading. They were demanding. But when you listen closely, you'll notice the same sound over and over, though it changes. It never quite sounds the same twice. The voice of the crying now fluctuates, as if it's trying to sound like the people who hear it. The crying isn't the same every time. It mimics voices, your voice, someone you know, begging for help, crying for someone to come. But there is something wrong with the way it calls for you. Something off. It's not your child. It's not your wife. It's not your brother. We have confirmed that several people, upon hearing the crying, have gone to investigate and have not returned. Some have come back, altered. The first to answer the call will never stop smiling, but they can't close their mouths. They'll say they're fine. They'll say everything's normal. But you'll see it. When they look at you, their eyes will be too wide, too still, and their mouths will stretch open unnaturally wide, and that's when you'll know. Stay inside. Lock your doors. Do not open them if you hear crying coming from the other room. It is not who it says it is. It is not safe. There is something else inside, something waiting for you. If you hear it, do not respond. Do not call back. Do not try to open the door. The crying will continue. It will never stop.